Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
Hey, how you doing?
For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Before we get into this episode 10 of season 1, Abe and Charlie, how you guys doing?
We're good. How are you guys? How was your vacation?
We've been MIA.
Yeah, we have.
We have. Bro, went to San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego was incredible. You guys are honestly like, I didn't know we would come back because I was
It's a great city. It's a great city.
We were talking for forever being like, bro, how do we stay longer? Like, how do we move Redux to San Diego? So shout out to anybody on the West Coast. Shout out to anybody who lives in San Diego. Beautiful city.
Yes.
Beautiful beaches, great weather, good food. Can't complain. So we're good and happy to be back. Sorry for the delay that we caused, but I think we all can say a break was a little nice. We've been going strong for months, honestly, just been chugging along. Charlie's been working to the bone editing these things. So it was a nice little unplug. I think for me and Davi, hopefully Charlie got to relax a little bit as well. No,
not as well as you guys, but
yeah, you weren't on the beach, you know.
Yeah,
it was different.
Just got to lay in bed and sleep a little longer.
Yeah,
that's what we want.
That's a vibe.
That's a great vibe.
Yeah. But we're back.
Yes, we're back. We're here. We're continuing with this great show. And before we get into the rest of this episode, just a quick heads up. This episode is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show. So if you want to listen to the discussion portion and watch it as well, click the link in the description and you'll be able to find that. And also, we are almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is crazy. It's phenomenal. And I just want to thank you guys for supporting, commenting, liking our videos. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing and joining our community. We love you guys and thank you so much for the support. And now, Abe, can you please read some comments from our previous video?
This comment comes from Ruby, and it says, I noticed how Meadow is positioned as the witness to Tony's moral struggle. Carmela is completely blind or willfully ignoring the possibility and likelihood of Tony's violence. Meadow sees what could have happened in the choice Tony made. She's literally staring at him from above, and only she understands what he means when he says, I didn't hurt nobody. Yeah, no, I think it was perfectly put. I think Meadow is the one person in the family that has a real look into Tony, and she has that kind of relationship where she kind of sees his moral dilemma. I think Carmela kind of sees him as almost like a villain more than Meadow. I think Meadow's kind of balancing the two images in her mind.
I think Meadow tries to see the good side of Tony as well.
Yes, and I think that she sees that he's struggling with the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So I think that was that's what I got from this comment anyway.
Yeah.
This one comes from Darth856. Junior's insecurity really comes to the fore in this episode. He throws away a loving relationship over basically nothing, consumed by how other people perceive him. Yeah. Yes. I saw a couple people talking about how it wasn't like I think I mentioned in the last episode how it was like the times, and some people were like, oh, it's like the code of Omerta and whatever. I have very limited knowledge on the mob. My understanding of Omerta is more along the lines of like snitching and like talking to the feds and like keeping your business private, less so about like the personal stuff.
Yeah.
But I can understand why mob bosses in general wouldn't want to talk about this stuff because anything can be used against you.
Yep.
But yes, I do think that Junior, his ego really was at the fore and he was super insecure.
Yeah, that entire episode was an ego trip for everyone.
Oh yeah.
It was a very interesting dynamic.
Mm-hmm. And then the last comment here comes from Clean6288. This episode is one of my favorites. Great reactions to the Junior Tony golf scene. Yeah, that golf scene was perfect, bro. The banter back and forth. What was it that Tony was saying? He was singing
he was singing something like
south of the border, where the tuna fish swim. I was cracking up. That was so good.
All right, y'all. Charlie, let's get it.
Episode 10, a hit is a hit.
A hit is a hit.
Little left on your end.
All right. Open the door. Any hinky shit, you'll be refrying beans with Pablo Escobar again.
This is all a message to your friends. Stay away from Port Newark. Don't even drive out to Jersey, not even on Sundays. They've been told twice. Now out, Tub.
A hit is a hit.
Holy shit. Bingo! We can't fit all this shit in a carton.
Well, damn. What an opening.
Token of my appreciation for recommending Dr. Melfi. She's a good shrink.
He's a Monte Cristos. He's a Cuban.
Yeah, they're the best, right?
They're illegal, aren't they?
They're cigars.
Oh, they're dreamy, Tone.
You're a good neighbor, Bruce.
Hey, look, I'm a doctor. I make referrals all the time, Tony. You don't have to give me...
No biggie.
I've been watching you out back with your putter. You ever play at the club?
No, I play menacing. The public course.
Well, you know, you ought to come to the club and play sometime.
We'll see.
Right champagne, gentlemen. Oh, that's beautiful.
A go like this happens once in a lifetime. Gotta make this work for us, out in the open, legit. But a nice IPO, keep it spinning, live off the juice.
IP who?
IPO, initial public offering, stock. You gotta find some insider market trading shit.
Ollie, baby, get that big dick in the jacuzzi now.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Gonna celebrate. Just me and Adriana.
What a guy.
Wow.
Could this be the end of Rico?
Maybe. Just maybe.
Thank you so much for taking me to the theater.
Broadway.
Rent. Broadway musicals. I mean,
He's watching Rent.
Wouldn't it be cool to own a restaurant like the Circus?
Not on with the careers.
Black guy over there, he look familiar?
why don't you just forget about working and be with me?
And be one of those wives like Carmela Soprano, breastfeed a bunch of rugrats, and then spend the rest of your life at the gym, just you and your stretch marks.
You're right. Cousin's always had a brain, but what does she use it for?
That's how they're related.
Okay. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Bold men make bold statements.
Why'd they send you over? I'm looking for a burger, not converted rice.
He's only bold because he see me hooked up with the Tony Soprano crew.
My name is Orange J. Down with Massive Genius.
That's who it was. The gangster rapper.
We're having a party at G's crib, Inglewood Cliffs. You interested? Master's heard of the fucking crew you with. There's business to be done.
Christopher's gonna start a feud with a whole nother gang.
No, it looks like he's going to start business.
Do you think so?
That's what the guys are talking about.
At first, it seemed like a feud, but now after that cop said he was involved with Tony Soprano, maybe now they want
This is a beautiful, beautiful home.
all the platinum records on the wall,
Chrissy, look at all these gold records.
Whoa.
or gold records, whatever.
Like that shit?
AK?
Christmas present to myself.
Jesus,
A Desert Eagle? Jesus.
Damn.
With a scope?
that's a laser.
Crazy.
You people are all right. Godfather, I seen that movie 200 times. Godfather 2 was definitely the shit.
What's he going to say? Boys in the Hood?
What kind of business you want to discuss?
Mr. Herman Rapkin.
Hesh.
In the late 50s and 60s, he owned F Note Records. Little situation here. Distant but deceased quasi-cousin on my mother's side. Little Jimmy Willis, 50s legend. Oh, Herman, he's just another in a long line of white motherfuckers stealing royalties from the black men that made them the money in the first place. Jimmy's mother, out San Bernardino, who I'm content to call my aunt, is owed that money.
Hesh is the world's sweetest guy, but I've heard his opinions on giving back pieces of Israel. I can only imagine what he's gonna say about this shit. That guy's a gangster? I'm an OG original gangster, not him. Alec Baldwin comes over, Whitney Houston. What do I got? I sit in a fucking pork store, for Christ's sake. Soprano crew, it's always secret this, Omerta that, fucking gets on my nerves. Our thing once ruled the music business, did you know that? Paid the DJs or busted heads to get them played on the air. Now, fucking drum machines, some ignorant poetry, and any fucking fourth grade dropout did soon as chairman of the board.
Damn. You don't like rap.
Barb Wagner called. You remember her from the fundraiser?
With the mayonnaises from up the street?
Yeah, they invite us to a barbecue over at their house.
The mayonnaise. Up the street.
Well, you still with the brochures?
You believe how much it costs for a college education for 4 years?
We got enough.
What was it back then? I want to know.
It's definitely like tripled.
You're always telling me the same thing. I'll be taken care of. By who? What is with the luck? Did you just make a score?
No.
He made a big score.
Remember Richie Santini?
Yeah, you used to fuck him.
Yeah, we had our little phase.
More about him.
You've heard his band.
Defiler? I'm not into that headbanging shit.
Well, you were talking about the good old days. Italians running the music business. And here's Richie, this musician who you know. They're not a hair band anymore, and they're really good. You think Massive Genius would be interested?
Massive does owe me a favor. I'm arranging a sit-down for him with Hesh.
I know this sounds kind of funny. Music management. I'm working here, I have met people, important people, learn people's skills, how to deal with big egos, solve problems.
Yikes.
It's just an old demo.
Let's set you up.
What?
I got money. You're right. With how much you listen to the radio, you'd be good.
I can't believe it.
But I get to pick what you wear. I like that.
Ordinarily, I'd be more than happy to stroll down memory lane with you, but it's reparations that I seek.
What do you want to do here, Hesh? I'm guided by you.
He's got to do the right thing, that's what.
Hey, you're way out of line, kid. Let's get some cold and fizzy water on your head. Let's get right to the point, huh? What's in this for you?
If you read Chuck D's book, you know that he advises that reparations be made by the Jewish studio moguls in Hollywood on account of the way black folks have been portrayed in film.
You're talking to the wrong white man, my friend. My people were the white man's when yours were still painting their faces and chasing zebras.
My lawyers have done a little research. I think that the final figure is somewhere around $400,000. Now, a cashier's check made to a Mrs. Idella Willis will set the record straight.
Or what?
Super interesting. Not the way that I would have thought the writers would have portrayed the two factions at the time. I think we can dive deeper into that in discussion, but I think like it seems like the Italian mob was anticipating that like this black crew would operate very differently, and they're not. They're being super, like, it's like they know the rules of the game. They're super respectful. They know exactly what they want, whatever. But also Christopher is putting his neck out there where he shouldn't, and I think he's, that shit's gonna bother
As soon as that scene finished, I was like, yo, Christopher is gonna get some heat.
Yeah,
because there's just he put himself in a place that I don't know how he's gonna get out of it.
I'm surprised Tony didn't smack him beside the head the second he said that shit.
So I'm trying to understand more of the storyline here, because it seems like just a huge shift just out of the blue from where we were to now where it's going. So it's like just out of nowhere now there's something they want to get invested in the music business. What's going on?
No, what's happening is he came across this guy, Massive G, out of the blue, and Massive G knows he has connections with Soprano. He knows Sopranos have connections with Hesh, who's in the music business, and Hesh basically owes royalties to an artist that he used to sign who's related to him.
Okay.
So he's coming to collect for his aunt.
That part I understood, but I just I don't recall us getting any previous information that Hesh is in the music business or whatever.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we did.
I just don't.
I don't remember.
It was very briefly talked about, but he was like, when you were like making records and selling albums and stuff like that, you used to run this, blah, blah, blah. They had conversations about it when Hesh had that very specific episode where he was part of, because this is the second or third time we're seeing Hesh.
Yeah.
So they have talked about it before.
He gave me a gift of some excellent Cuban cigars.
And you accepted them?
He was thanking me for referring him to a physician, which he's very happy with.
Really?
Her.
Sometimes I think the only thing separating American business from the mobs is fucking whacking somebody.
Facts.
He hangs around with Tony Soprano for 15 minutes, and it's fucking this and fucking that.
She likes it.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, I ain't strong.
They're just checking out the local talent.
I think he's bringing him to see the band that she was talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the band she was talking about sounded more like heavy metal. These guys are.
But she said they changed their sound.
That was a demo. That she played,
yeah, it was their first demo.
I know it ain't your type of music, but
I like any kind of music that turns shit green.
Richie's been through a lot. It's deepened his writing.
So what do they call themselves?
Used to be Defiler, then some personnel changes, bass and drums. Now they're called Visiting Day.
Mom and Dad.
It's a real band.
I have no idea.
That name sounds familiar.
They definitely sound better than the demo.
Oh, yeah. Be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. I think they were a band just made up for the Sopranos.
Probably.
But there's like online forums discussion about the band being good or bad, so I feel like this might be an extensive thing. In the show.
Could be.
you interested?
Yes.
Looks like he's interested in something
Yeah,
else.
he's interested in her.
Yeah.
He wants Adriana.
Wasn't he? Didn't he like grab her at the place and like walk out with her?
He did.
At some point, yeah. Christopher better watch out. It's Mr. Steal Your Girl. She's spying.
Jennifer, what the hell are you doing?
Why are you standing on the bidet?
Oh, that's his house. That's Tony's house.
What was that?
Well, you did some ace fucking selling.
You think?
Yeah, thing is, though, music is not something you can hold in your hands, you know?
It's art. It's an instinct. I see it in Richie.
Yeah, probably is.
I'm really fucking doing it, and it's all thanks to you.
My wife thinks I need to meet new people.
So?
Come on, you're Italian. You understand. The truth is, the average white man is no more boring than the millionth conversation over who should have won, Marciano or Ali.
So am I to understand that you don't consider yourself white?
I don't mean white like Caucasian. I mean a white man, like our friend Cusimano. Now, he's Italian, but he's American. It's what my old man would have called a Wonder Bread wop, you know.
I was in your neighborhood last night. At the Cusimanos.
She's about to ask him what she heard.
You didn't hear any strange noises last
I knew
night
it.
in your neighborhood?
Noises?
Like someone screaming in pain?
No.
Probably a television set.
You saw my house.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was.
That sausage, huh? Where'd you get it? The little place in Garfield?
Honey, where'd we get the sausage?
That little place in Garfield.
You know, the only thing better than a little sausage? Well, it's a pair of tits.
I don't know about that, but it's a hell of a piece of meat. Sausage is kind of a phallic thing, whereas tits.
That's exactly what he was saying. The Wonder Bread thing.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Rand, you hear from Ross on Dexplex? Not yet, but the buyout is definitely going down. Well, just give me a little warning. I need to call the islands.
Dexplex?
Oh, it's a little company that's going public, maybe.
Hey, come on, will you?
Oh, this is what he wanted to. This is what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Barb, our stock guru. She thinks American Biotics may be a good investment. It's supposed to be close to a side effect-free anti-impotence drug.
You guys play the stock market?
Oh, we don't just play. We win.
Yeah, because other husbands are insider trading.
Never mind.
This feels like a parody of that song. Everybody hurts.
Yeah.
Talking about-
Yeah, I know.
The engineers about it.
Actually, his vocals got better.
Yeah, when it
It was
started.
bad, and then I think he's just annoyed at the song.
Let's take 62.
Jesus.
Oh my
We got it
gosh.
back.
Take 62 is wild.
We're bagging it.
We should have bagged this 2 days ago when it was f***ing perfect.
Yikes. So she doesn't know what she's doing.
I think it's as good as we're gonna get right now.
Oh, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of good.
Whoa. What are you saying? Is something wrong?
No, I'm sure we're all trying our best here. I just think we hit a brick wall.
Hey, f that. I paid for 3 days studio time already. It's only gonna cost me more money to pack it up and come back in again, isn't it? Hey, what do you say we finish this shit, all right? 3 days now we've been slamming our hams.
It's not the end of the world.
Buddy, this is costing me $300 an hour. Here, try this.
Gave him drugs, didn't he?
I don't do drugs anymore, okay?
Well, hats off. But for all the dynamic excitement in these songs, maybe we should get another down power line in here, let you suck on.
Christopher.
You heard me. Spike up.
No fucking way.
Christopher, I am producing these sessions.
Go take the fucking drugs. I'm not fucking around anymore.
The problem, Christopher, is that the bass and the drum tracks were mic'd wrong from the fucking beginning.
Whoa, hey, king of rock. You're out of your depth.
Look, let me tell you something, dude. Thank you. But I've recorded in Denmark.
What is he, nuts?
Fuck this, man.
Where you going?
I'm going to AA, you fucking jerk off.
Get back to work.
Christopher!
Oh my god.
Ooh, okay.
Huh? Come on. Come on.
Big man,
Yeah.
huh?
He did it.
Yeah, Christopher's not messing around.
So we take it from the top. We'll use a ukulele.
I mean, $300 an hour is a lot of money, but
Biotics.
Oh shit, she's insider trading now too.
Can you place the order today? Okay, great. Yeah, I'll have the money to you by tomorrow. Meadow, what are you spying on people now?
I live here. What, are you playing Wall Street now? What do you know about the stock market?
I keep my ears open. Listen, your father, God bless him, he does very well. But who knows, you know? What if something unforeseen should happen? What if he gets hit by a truck? I mean, I got you kids to think about.
Yeah, but they never get the mobsters on the shit that they actually do. They get them on some technicality. So if they find out she's fucking insider trading,
Yeah, they're done.
brother,
It's gonna.
I hope this is not what I'm looking at right now. I hope I'm just
It could collapse
It definitely could.
everything.
Yeah, that could mess everything up. But I mean, I guess it would be Carmela instead of him. I mean, we'll see what he does.
well,
with
if
it.
they investigate
But he's
her, they're
trying
gonna
to
find out stuff about
But
him.
he's trying to get into it too.
Yeah.
So
That's what it looked like. But I don't know why they would do that because, like, the SEC, like, You don't play around with that.
No.
Well, unless you're a hedge fund.
Yeah, even then.
Then no. No. If you're a hedge fund, SEC's like, oh, I'm blind.
Let's go to Georgette Klinger's massage, facial, jour de beauté on me.
Sure.
Buy your daughter out.
My God, they're finally doing something together.
Oh. Whoa! Whoa!
It's a lily.
Now that's a shot.
Bull runs like a frightened fawn.
Tony, you ever play that place in Orlando?
No, I never get down there. Well, Disney World.
You know, Al's place. Mount Plymouth. Al Capone built it.
Oh, shit.
Let me ask you a question. And now, if I'm stepping on toes, tell me, how real was The Godfather? I mean, in your opinion.
What do you mean, real?
Authentic or not?
I don't know. How would I know? It's the 50s, right?
I want to know if you really had to cut your finger and take an oath.
My gosh.
No, he's about to kill this man.
Cut your finger and take an oath. I didn't know about that tradition. What is this, Assassin's Creed? So Tony's only hanging out with these guys to try to get info on insider trading, right? Because I don't think he actually likes them.
Remember what he told the therapist?
Yeah, he was saying like he doesn't know. His wife tells him, and other people tell him he needs to get out and hang out with other people, but he's not a fan of like the Wonder Bread Italians and just like regular white people because they kind of treat this kind of Italian like a spectacle, and that's very much what they're doing.
Right. Although he's getting to see some different things like an upgraded golf course that he hasn't been to.
Yeah, but he doesn't care about that.
Whatever.
You can tell he's not.
Answer this if you don't want to.
Oh my God.
But I gotta know. Did you ever meet John Gotti?
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna whack him with that freaking club, bro.
What was he really like?
Remember Bungalow Bar?
Like good humor, except the trucks, they had their bungalow roofs on,
Was Gotti a silent partner in all that thing?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. Just know that when the company folded and they were auctioning off the last Bungalow Bar truck, one with the peaked roofs. You're right, Coos.
Goose.
Well, they were auctioning off the last Bungalow Bar truck, and I wanted it as a souvenir. Gotti outbid me. Gave me a ride home. You know, he rang that bell the whole way home.
That wasn't what they were hoping to hear.
Nope.
Nope.
Meow.
Brother.
Meow.
This man is not here for the music.
No, he's not.
Yeah, this is good.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, he biting his lip like that. Yeah, Christopher's.
Dog, listen to that shit.
He ain't listening.
He's watching her as if she was like a stripper or something.
Straight up.
Oh, Christopher noticed.
Yeah,
Christopher noticed.
Oh, he's taking it to Hesh to see.
Obviously, Hesh does not like it.
So?
Well, I think it's not good.
You're just pissed that I went against you at the sit-down.
Come on, get the out of here. Stop wasting my time. There's one constant in the music business. A hit is a hit. And this, my friend, is not a hit.
Remember when I was a kid, there was this guy in my neighborhood. We used to call him Jimmy Smash. Now, he wasn't retarded, but we thought he was because he had one of these, whatchamacallit. Hey, Jimmy, hey, what do you call that?
Cleft palate.
Every time he opened his mouth, we'd piss ourselves laughing. But Jimmy didn't mind because he got to hang out with us, popular crew. Although we only called him when we were bored. Call him and say, hey, Jimmy, sing Mac the Knife. And because he wanted to hang out with us, he'd belt it right out.
I see where this is going. He feels like Jimmy.
Yep.
And then, when the laughs got old, we stopped calling him. It wasn't until years later that I found out that the poor prick was going home every night and crying himself to sleep.
Damn.
Now, when I found out, I felt bad. But I never really understood what he felt. To be used for somebody else's amusement, like a fucking dancing bear, till I played golf with those guys.
Yo, the way they crafted Tony to storytell is impeccable, bro. Impeccable.
Whatever happened to Jimmy?
Jimmy Smash, he's doing 20 for robbery. It wasn't too hard for the cops to figure out who it was. He goes up to the bank teller with a mask. He goes, give me your money.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
Oh, that was gold. That was gold. I love how Tony tells edgy jokes. His delivery. Yeah.
He's so good at it.
Hey, Soprano.
Oh.
The rap shit. I think you probably got a degree in sociology from the city college.
I grew up in the projects. Delta 13. Killed a man. Later on, I got a degree, but urban planning. We were close. Expect to hear from Goldstein, Baum, and Warrenov. They'll be representing Miss Willis in the lawsuit.
Oh.
You gonna sue?
With what I pay in retainers? Fuck yeah.
I hear that.
Be advised that on your Artist Scratcher's last single, you sampled a backing vocal from the Chablis' 1968 song Riff With It.
For which F-Note Records controls the master recording rights. No shit. Yes, shit.
I would, of course, have to counter-sue.
I'll see you in court.
MTV Awards? What?
Nothing.
thought we put that fight behind us.
I think you should mentally prepare for the fucking possibility that visiting day sucks.
What?
I think the only reason you gotten this far with Massive is he wants to be in your pants.
He's not gonna like this.
I let some experts listen to the demo. They shit all over it. I'm sorry.
Who? Hesh? That old fucking synagogue cantor?
Silvio, he owned rock clubs in Asbury. You heard what Squid said? He's a professional engineer.
What about my opinion? That it's good, that it's special.
His eyes are on your ass, Adriana, 98% of the time.
This is just a way for you to keep me down. You just don't want to believe that I could have a relationship with a man like Massive that wasn't based on fucking, that was based on intelligence, respect, talent.
I'll shut up.
You saying I don't have talent? I don't think I can stay here anymore.
I love you.
That is such a lie.
Damn.
What did
I couldn't read it. It was talking about the stock, the company that she invested in.
They split their stock, which is usually a good sign from what I know.
What's in the box?
Sand. Como Kuzamano.
Tony, you're kind of cute when you're being a bad boy.
You're awfully chipper today.
So what are you going to do with the box?
Give it to him. Tell him to hold on to it for a while.
Oh, Tony, that is so evil.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, bro.
Coach. Coach, come here.
Listen, you know, that nickname.
What, Coach? Cozumano?
It's got that other connotation that...
No, not anymore. Listen, pal, need a little solid. Need you to hang on to this for a while for me. Hang on to it, in a little while I'll come get it when I need it.
How long?
A month, you know, maybe more, maybe less, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks. Oh, the club. I meant to ask you about the club. What's going on?
Oh, the club. Sorry, Tone. Membership's closed.
Closed?
Yeah. No new members until old members die.
Nobody's dying?
Nothing anybody can do anything about.
No biggie, Coos.
You sure?
Thanks.
I mean, because...
Oh, I'll live.
Nah, Tony's funny as hell for that.
See how his eyes lit up when you told him, "Oh, I need you to hold this box." It's like, oh,
he's working out.
That's what it was.
I'm so dead.
My
My guy's lifting.
He's hitting chest, bro. That's what Jennifer heard.
That's a hit.
He's in his feels, man.
Oh, yeah.
Heroin?
Shit, Gene, I don't know. A weapon? I don't know. Could be anything.
Bro, watch it like be.
No, he said what it was.
What was it?
He said it was sand. It was a box of
okay.
sand.
Okay. I did not hear that.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was probably one of the funniest endings we've had so far this season.
I also feel like it was kind of like growth from Tony's part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like usually he would react a lot more negatively, but also he knows who he's dealing with.
Yeah.
How close they are and whatnot. He doesn't want to do anything stupid.
Yeah. What an episode. There was a very interesting dynamic that was introduced with Tony. And that was him kind of stepping outside his comfort zone and trying to meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, what did you get from this episode? Because I think we got some sort of conclusion on how he feels on that situation. But seeing from Tony's perspective, whoa, sorry.
Oh, your phone's on the table.
Oh shoot, my phone.
Here's some static.
Yeah, just a little bit. So, yeah. What were some of the things that stood out to you from that dynamic that was introduced?
From him, like hanging out with those guys?
Hanging out with those guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't too. They probably said it, but I probably missed it. I'm not sure what the motivation was to hang out with those guys in the first place, besides the fact of just like meet new people, because he clearly has his crew that likes him, that respects him, that backs him up. So I don't know why he's like venturing off to find new people. I thought for a minute that he was just befriending them to get sort of in on different things like the insider trading stuff, get into the club that he wanted to be a part of, things like that. So I think he was just trying to, in my opinion, I think he was making friends to get into areas that he doesn't have access to. But clearly, you know, he was like a, what do you say? He was like a source of entertainment for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that to Jennifer, Dr. Melfi.
What I gathered, and I don't remember the exact beginning of the conversation between him and Jennifer, but what I gathered is like the suggestion was around not being so constantly involved in work
Mhm.
and him being with his crew, whether he's hanging out with them just casually or hanging out with them about business or like working and doing business.
Yeah.
It always kind of circles back to business. And like what we know is that his job and what he does causes him a high level of stress. And that leads to his anxiety, so on and so forth. So I think that was kind of the motivation of like, can you step outside your comfort zone and find other people to hang out with in your personal time that could, you know, de-stress and not help you, help you not think about work and whatnot. And then there was the conversation about, you know, the Maragans, which I want to research. I want to look up like what exactly that means. But basically what I got from it was like,
Is it
there's
like
there's
Americanized Italians?
I guess, but at the same time, like they're kind of Americanized Italians, but
Yeah.
but there's probably an even deeper layer, right? It's like the Italian just by name or by whatever, and they might talk about Italian stuff, but they're not truly Italian in the way that they act and the way that they, you know, the way like the Sopranos are. Like they got Italian dinner constantly. They sprinkle in Italian language every time they're talking. Like they're very fully, you know, Italian in that sense. And I think there's that separation of that. And he was right. Like he said, like, I don't want to hang out with these dudes because it's different. Like I find them boring, A, and B,
He doesn't
like,
feel comfortable.
Yeah, he doesn't feel comfortable. And he found out later why he felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And you were saying that he like the motive there is to escape work and whatever, but work just kept circling back.
I have,
because they would bring it up in conversation and ask him about,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, the mob. Is it real? Is the Godfather accurate? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And making him feel worse about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys think that Tony could ever find a friend that's not in the mob and then build a relationship with one?
Yeah.
Do you think
There
he
he
can
has
do
one. Artie.
Yeah.
He's got Artie. And like he does have some people that are outside of the mob. It's just like, regardless of that fact, you know, 90% of his time is spent, you know, within the mob. And even then, like Artie is friendly with those other guys, you know what I mean? And so it's very...
Someone who's like not associated whatsoever. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, it depends. I think it really depends. I feel like it would have to be someone within his culture that understands, but then there's also kind of this dynamic between Italians that are in the mob and outside of the mob, and whether or not they agree or disagree with what Tony's doing and what the mob stands for.
Yeah.
Because we saw that a couple episodes back, we saw Dr. Melfi having family dinner, and they discussed this entire thing, and they seem like a very true Italian family, somewhat, like more than Cusimano.
Cusimano, yeah.
But, you know, there still was very competing ideas on whether or not the mob is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why Tony sometimes doesn't venture out, because he's seen like a villain. And I think this goes back to, you know, the central theme of the show is like, you know, villain, like monster versus human kind of thing, right? Where Tony is this balancing act of his work, which he feels and other people see him as a monster, and the human side, his family, his emotions, you know, what he thinks about life, what he thinks about what he's doing, like all of that. I think like those conversations is just like a symbolism of this.
Yeah. And we saw in the session with Dr. Melfi, Tony's always been a great storyteller. I think every single time he's going back to his roots and talking about his childhood, and he does it really well, and it's fantastic writing. But I think we saw growth there because he opened up. We saw a vulnerable Tony there where he was talking about Jimmy. And he was like, damn, I felt like Jimmy at that time. And that's, I don't know, that's something that I don't think we've gotten from Tony a lot this season. And it was definitely a growth on his, I want to say, emotional side and sympathizing for people who've been bullied, people who've been made fun of.
Yeah, introspective and like looking at his mistakes and being like, damn, now I understand how someone that I treated poorly felt. Yeah, I think that's one of the first times that we've seen something like that from him.
All right, Christopher and Adriana's dynamic. That's going to be, I think, it's definitely going to continue as the show develops, I'd say. definitely left in a cliffhanger, and we don't know where Adriana left to go to. But Abe, what did you get off that dynamic? And because we're finally getting development of their relationship for the first time, right? It felt like this season we'll only see a little bit of them, and now I feel like forefront we're gonna get a backstory and a side story of what it's like, Adriana's perspective with Christopher's relationship. But what was something that you saw in this dynamic that stood out to you?
I think the central theme of this story with Christopher and Adriana was kind of, a kind of newly minted couple in the mob trying to find their place and like what are they gonna do? What are they gonna be? How do they see themselves? And like at the very beginning when they were kind of in the burger shop, I think it was the burger shop, or after when they got out of there, they were talking about like, Carmela and like, does she want to be like Carmela? No, she wants to own something. She wants to be a boss of something. She wants to manage something, which makes sense. But you kind of see that they're both, what's the word? Naive and kind of in over their heads a little bit. And they don't know what it is that it takes to do the things that they're dreaming of doing, right? They're just like, oh, this sounds good. Like the music thing, it just sounded good in her head, right? Is what the impression that I got anyway. And it was very interesting to see kind of like the beginnings of like, oh man, we're in the mob. So like, what do we do, right? Like, am I just going to be like Carmela and just like pop out kids and go to the gym? Like or am I going to actually do something? And you can see that Christopher does have a soft spot for that. Like he wants to support her, but throughout everything he starts to realize like, I'm not going to just throw my money away at this, A, and B, he didn't want to let her live in this kind of fairy tale when, at the end she was like, you don't think I have talent? And he stayed really quiet. Why? Because I think he agrees. He obviously just doesn't want to put his foot in his mouth.
That's true. I think there was ways that you can
navigate
that conversation better in the way but we know Christopher. I think in a way he probably should have been like, let's research this more and let's understand the business, right? But he's not gonna do that.
The way they are, they're kind of like Christopher is a very impulsive character in terms of what we've seen from him, right? Like go back to completely different situation, but go back to the bakery scene where he shoots the baker dude in the foot, like in a very random situation. In this situation, he has like the woman he loves telling him exactly what she wants to do and what she sees as her dream, and all he wants to do is just give it to her. He doesn't think about how, the why, the obstacles, whatever. He just wants to give it to her. He buys studio time. He connects her with this gangster rap producer, whatever. He's listening to her about this band and whatnot, and he's just going with it. But he starts to realize like, damn, like there's really nothing here, and other people are telling him like there's nothing here. And I don't know if this is there's more to come in terms of like Christopher and Adriana's relationship, but I'm thinking about Christopher specifically in the sense of like, does this mean he's gonna hopefully grow and be less impulsive with these kind of decisions, or is he going to continue to fall into these sorts of traps of like, oh, I got money now, well, I'm going to do this. Oh, well, someone pissed me off, so let me do this. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like he rushes into these decisions a lot.
What do you think, Charlie? Do you think Christopher is going to grow into a character that's more impulsive, or you think he's going to retreat and have more patience?
I mean, I think he's super impulsive all the time, and I don't think this helps him learn. I don't know if there's a learning lesson here for him in terms of being impulsive, because just off of a conversation, he already dove right in there and started spending money on Adriana to do this venture. But
my thought is the mistake will help him, because now Adriana's walking out the door.
But the thing is, I feel like he's made this mistake several times and hasn't learned from it, the impulsive part of it. Like Tony gives him shit for it, and he still hasn't learned.
Yeah, but nothing teaches you like heartbreak.
This is true. This
teaches you like heartbreak. Yeah. That's the one piece. Yeah. But I could definitely see him continuing to do this because he hasn't learned. Charlie's right.
Right, and I think he still has more to deal with in this situation, because my impression is that Adriana leaves and now she goes to see the guy that was
Massive G.
I
thought we were going to see that in this episode.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a continuation in the next couple episodes or so. But I do think that Christopher has a genuine like love and care for Adriana, and he was trying to help her. but saw that, you know, this wasn't the right, you know, fit. Like, this band is clearly trash. and her not having the ability to see that clearly and just kind of be blinded by, I don't know, just finally doing something for herself. It doesn't help her, and obviously he's crushed by the whole thing because he held his tongue and couldn't say more about her being, you know, not
talented or untalented.
Yeah, like she doesn't have a good ear for what's good or not.
Right, and he doesn't want to be the one to break her heart and tell her that.
No, yeah, he has. You can see he has he has genuine love and care for her, and a very soft spot for her. Like I think he really, 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 really loves her. But
right.
I think it's really hard for him to be as blunt as he is to others. But he struggles because he adds so much of his impulsiveness to his situation. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not helping the situation.
No, he just doesn't help. Any situation that he's in where he has to be honest, he takes it out with anger.
Yeah. And I think we're still going to see the anger side come out, because there's no way that she doesn't go to Massive G after this. Like, there's no way that the story doesn't continue that way. And if it doesn't, then wow, I'm shocked, because that's not how I would have written it, right?
Yeah.
Because clearly there's
a plot line that's we know it's heading towards that direction.
Exactly. And he's clearly just been eyeing her and just pretending that he's been liking this band the whole time. He knows it's trash.
And her getting involved with him only makes this plot messier.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because of everything else going on in the background with Tony's
Hesh,
crew,
yeah.
Hesh, and Massive G's crew.
Exactly. So we have to see how faithful Adriana is, right? I think that's going to be a test. She might fall for Massive G. Like, he might be able to manipulate her in a way, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We're seeing a new dynamic towards like the new mob era, where Massive G is like, I'm just gonna sue you, right? Whereas I think back then the mob would have been like, brother, we're just gonna kill you. Like,
I genuinely think that I think there's a dichotomy where like there's a conflict within the mob where they do have lawyers on retainer, right? That's why Tony, when he said that, he was like, I know that's right, because they have the same damn thing. Like, when the feds are coming after them, they have lawyers on retainer for a reason. And you know, I think they were kind of thrown, and I think a way of it's almost a way of them looking down on the other crew, but in the same vein, like they do the same shit, you know what I mean? And like, as much as they don't want to believe that, like, you know, this gangster rap crew is suddenly sophisticated, whatever, they are, and they have knowledge, and Massive G's a smart dude. He's not an idiot.
College educated dude, like we learned in this episode.
Oh yeah. And he's been through the trenches.
Yeah.
So like he has both sides. Probably, you know, he's more well-rounded than they are, in a sense, right?
Because the street smarts and the book smarts.
Exactly. So I think they kind of have met their match in a sense, right? Like, where they have to be very careful, because if they push this dude's buttons, they could get bit in the ass.
And what do you guys think of the new introduction of Massive G? Like, it adds another dynamic in terms of, like Abe said, we're finally seeing a competition that is leveled, or even Massive G is at a place where they're actually at a higher level compared to the Soprano squad.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I would say the biggest difference is probably the mob rolls a little bit deeper. Like, the Italian mob has like deeper ties, deeper connects. It's been around for longer. There's
runs in the
tradition,
family,
there's structure. There's a lot more going on there. But in terms of intellect, and in terms of like chess moves, I feel like Massive G is probably on that level.
Would you say it's like new money versus old money?
Yeah, it could be. Or new gangster versus old. It's OGs versus the new era.
That's true. Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
Yeah,
which is cool to see. I wonder though, because we've gotten comments in the past of people being like, "Damn, people hated on the Sopranos because, you know, they wanted someone getting whacked every episode," kind of thing. And the second that they were on that phone call, people like those people were probably in the edge of their seats, being like, "Oh, they're gonna start a war," and they're like, "Nah, I'm gonna get my lawyer to sue you." They're probably pissed off and like, "Oh my god, bro, this show's so boring." But for me, I'm like,
that's
this
dope,
is
because it's a very realistic portrayal on how it how would it be today
And
in
exactly,
today's
and
time?
especially when they're dealing with the music industry, it's all lawsuits, it's all copyright infringement, it's all this, all this stuff. So to me, it's very realistic, and it's really cool to see like the mob element of it.
Yeah, it does. It is interesting, but look what we got in the first opening. Someone just got absolutely.
Oh yeah,
whacked, popped. I don't know how people are complaining about
because if you really pay attention to it, that's the periphery of the show. Like that is secondhand to everything else that happens in The Sopranos. Like people getting whacked, people getting killed, whatever. The mob activity. There's so much more going on. There's so many more layers to this show, but there are people who literally that's all they want to see. And thankfully, that's not us. Thankfully, we enjoy the layers of the show. But I know I'm sure that there are some folks who really just want to see like the mob activity and like the street stuff and the killing and the brutal stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't feeling the Master G stuff.
Massive G.
Sorry, not Master G. Massive G. Until it got to the phone call, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna sue you." That's where I was like, "Okay, I see how your crew is gonna work now." Because before that, I was kind of just like, "This is very out of the blue." Like the storyline that we got last episode to now into this is like just so like 180 that I was like just thrown off by it. But once I got to that, I was like, okay.
Well, what I can see now too is like we haven't seen them, but like looking at it from a Fed perspective, it's just an extra spider web. You know what I mean? Like more web shooting out from the
100%. It's more evidence for the FBI as well.
No, and the evidence as well is Carmela getting into insider trading. Like that's
yeah, that makes me nervous. I know. Obviously, you know what makes me feel like this is gonna go to shit? Everything went too well for her in this episode. She even got to go to like a spa day with Meadow. Like, nah, bro, shit's hitting the fan.
They get busted at the spa day.
The second that thing happened with Meadow, I was like, nah, this is bad news. This is bad news. There's no way Meadow is willingly going.
Where the hell was Anthony Jr. this episode?
They come in and out. I think per episode. I think it depends. We didn't even get Junior this episode.
He was still swatting a fly in his room. Probably.
I think they ship their kids to like boarding school or something. Like depending. Yeah, it's interesting how they appear and disappear, but yeah, I thought it was super interesting how Carmela had like no negative repercussions. Like, oh, CNBC, I'm so interested. I'm like, this is gonna go to shit.
Oh,
and Tony's gonna flip if it does.
Also, no Uncle Junior in this episode because I feel as though where we left off in the previous episode, someone's in trouble. Like. Because they were running their mouth, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he went and pied his woman in the face and all that stuff. But somebody in this crew is also in trouble because they were running their mouth.
Who? About what?
About them. About his whole thing with her, right? Because
no, it was the women who were talking. It was the women who were talking.
Right. It was the women who were talking. But I feel like more people know about it as well. Tony knew about it.
Tony knew about it from Carmela.
Exactly. Making jokes here and there. So.
Yeah, I think it'll just fuel the feud between Junior and Tony. Because the only people that we saw, because when we were watching that golf scene, you could see like Tony making those comments and the guys in the back were like, what the hell is he talking about? Like, this man's not making sense. But Junior knew what he was talking about. Yeah. And Junior, when he made comments about like psychiatry or whatever, Tony knew what he was talking about. So it's kind of this like Cold War of like, I got shit on you, you got shit on me. Who's going to cave first? Who's going to use this to their advantage first?
Right. Yeah.
The only other person who knows anything, I think, is Mikey about Tony going to psychiatry because Junior told him.
Just in terms of like the timeline and how the story is progressing, I just wonder where Junior is in all of this because I know he's back from Boca.
He's back. Well,
so like I don't know.
He'll be in the next episode.
I'm sure. But like all this happening, however long of a span, what we just saw was with the new era gangsters now feuding with the crew. Like, I want to know how he becomes aware of it, what his reaction is, all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I think at this point in Tony's mind and his crew's mind, it's still kind of small fish.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's my understanding is they're the ones who kind of deal with Hesh. So right now it's really just Tony's jurisdiction. But if this turns into something bigger, then Junior will get involved.
And I think the way it'll turn into something bigger is Christopher. That's just my prediction because
or Adriana.
Right, but still tied with Christopher. Like,
Right.
A lot of the problems that have escalated have been through Christopher in one way or another. So before, like, his friend Brandon and, like, his buddies, like, jacked the wrong truck, killed the guy or whatever accidentally.
Tony's gonna clean him the mess. Yeah,
exactly. Like, Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher finds trouble, bro.
Christopher screws Tony up so bad.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna see more trouble. Obviously, I think.
I think so, because he's gonna have to go after his woman.
Yeah.
And
he's gonna go to Tony, and Tony's gonna be like, "What the what are you doing?" Okay, it's gonna be interesting. We have 3 episodes left, right? There's 13 episodes this season.
In the first season, probably.
Yeah.
So that was 10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was 10.
Wow.
Well, yeah, we got 3 episodes left this season.
Almost done with season 1.
Woo!
Yep. That's nice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's right.
But
we're getting there, guys. I know, slow and steady, but we're getting there.
Yes. Soon we'll do twice a week. Soon. We got to finish Barry first. Yeah. But y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Please comment and like this video. Comment your thoughts. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing. We love you guys and see you soon for episode 11. Peace.